right, I'll be right back. One sec. All right, I'm ready.
All right. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Entrepreneurs of Colors. My name is Yi Li Wu, and I am the Adult Services and Engagement Librarian at the Appleton Public Library. The Entrepreneurs of Colors Spotlight highlights an entrepreneur's business journey and invites all of you to interact and learn with us today. If you have any comments, you can share that in the chat box. This ELC Spotlight is brought to you by the Appleton Public Library, the Colored Bow Business Association, and UW-Madison Division of Extension. We all share a mission to support and empower business owners of Northeast Wisconsin. I have the privilege today to interview an amazing individual from our community. Before I bring Lindsay in, I'm going to introduce her. And so I want everybody to meet Lindsay Roque, an exceptional individual who currently holds the prestigious role of Vice President at the Northeast Wisconsin Chinese Association. She joined the organization in January of 2023, and she's been working very hard to continue to advocate and bring amazing Chinese American programs to our community, and she is an asset to the community. Beyond being a vice president for NUCA, she also currently is an entrepreneur for Forever Yang LLC, and she's also wrote children's book, and I'll have her talk more about that. So she currently lives in Oshkosh, Wisconsin with her loving husband and 2 children, and she values a lot of writing, literacy. She loves reading, camping, traveling. A lot of those stuff are of true passion of her. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Lindsay Roque. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, hi everyone. Good morning.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited and happy to be here. How are you, Yi?
I'm doing good. Thank you. So, Lindsay, can you tell us more about who you are?
Wow. I feel like, who I am, as I start to, be very active in the community this year, and I feel like I've learned that everyone have been like everywhere and have so many hats. So who I am, I'm a mother. First of all, of most, I'm a mother. I have 2 children. One is 3 years old, one is almost 5 years old. I'm a wife. I am a children's book author. I'm a small business owner, and I would consider myself as a community builder too, because most of my time and energy I spend working for NUCA, which is a nonprofit organization. Then so yeah, there's many hats. It depends which part of the day or which day of the week, what my focus is. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know. So as you start meeting and knowing more people from the community and start seeing the same faces at events, everybody holds so many different hats. So
that's true. That's so true. Yeah.
Right about that.
Kind of like helped me, kind of develop that answer, because I realized, I'm the same way. I'm here and there, everywhere. So
yeah, awesome. So Lindsay, how did you get started in your entrepreneurship journey?
I would say, I actually came from a family who owns small businesses. So my parents, I was born and raised in rural China, like in the center of mainland China, and then in a small village, only a few hundred people. And when growing up, we were originally just all farmers. Everyone in my village are just farmers. But when I was in middle school, my dad was fortunate to take over a family business from my grandpa, and then he started running like a a family, like a vineyard. But instead of making wine from grapes, that he makes Chinese liquor like from rice, from all kinds of grains. And it's all 100% handmade. I think that was probably the seeds that planted in my head that, since my dad took over the business, I feel like the quality of life, that the options, we have with life have been opened so much, instead of being just farmer and then living on the weather, or like living life depend on the weather. But then my dad had this business, and it really kind of opened so many doors and windows for our family. And then, of course, that was the main reason that they could afford to put me to college, and go different places and education. So yeah, I feel like that was my first inspiration. And then time fast forward 30 some years later, that I get to, I happen to live on the other side of the planet, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, become a mom. So when I was home, taking care of my children and being a stay-at-home mom, and just like I just kind of reflect a lot of my experience as a child. That one of the things was that when I was a child, there was not many technology, TV or anything. It was just this radio, so you listen, like that's your only entertainment. One of the things my favorite was just the music, the singing, and then I start to just looking forward to hear music from the radio, singing where I was like herding the cows, working on the family farm. And then that was just like really big part of my childhood. It was soothing and it was calming. And I realized that I was doing a lot with my children. I was singing the songs that I used to sing, when I was a little girl. And I was like, I want to find, more books or any ways to kind of like help my children to learn that too, to pass down that piece of my roots to my children. But I couldn't find much. I was like, why don't I just make a book? Like I want to make a book with my favorite songs, from China when I was little. And then, a few songs that's from, in America. Well, my kids love to, like Baby Sharks, Old MacDonald Had a Farm. So yeah, that was born. It was just really, it started from that. I just really want to pass down this to my children. And I realized that it could share with all children in the world, and then it could work as an inspiration for all moms, moms of color like us, that we want our family to, to kind of like learns, understands that the piece of us in the past. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's
the beginning of the journey.
I love how you started, you saw what your dad did. And then as you came here to the US, you found that there was not enough children's books that had music for your children. So you decided that you wanted to create that, and you wanted other people to be able to learn about who you are, like, your culture. You want them to learn about that, and also for your children to be able to preserve a part of your culture as well too.
Exactly. So, yes.
How many children's book do you have currently right now?
So I total designed and created 2 books. The first one is Sing Along with Meow Meow, which is the one that's on the market right now. It's on sale for Amazon. I'm also trying very hard to kind of like promote it in the local community, So right now I'm trying to work with local bookstores, libraries, and then the children's museums, who is super generous and kind and design, wants to carry my books at the children's museum, Building for Kids in Appleton. So yeah. So my second book I made is that it's called Celebrating Holidays with Meow Meow. So Meow Meow means little fire in Chinese. And then it happens to my daughter's English name is Amber with an E, also means little fire. So all my books are revolved kind of like an idea of that, explore the different aspects of the culture, explore a different world and the diversity or richness of other culture in the eyes through my daughter. So the second book is called Celebrating Holidays with Meow Meow. And then it's all completely finished designing everything. And then I'm in the process of looking for fundings and, trying to publish it. So far, just 2.
Awesome. How long did it take you to write your first one? Can you kind of explain a little bit more about like the process and the timeline of when you started, and then how did that like how long did it take you to finish it?
Okay, sure, sure. So the entire book from the idea was born up until it's available to sell on Amazon, it took about a year. And then I would say that, of course, the first of everything is more difficult and more challenging. And then, like I have no doubt that my second book took much faster because I've already had the artist, I already have, all the partners components that's ready for my first book. I can just like contact them and do. Yeah, so the first book definitely take a year from the idea. I came with the idea. I talked to several friends. I talked to, people that I think I can work for from China, and then just a lot of like even the funding, the finances, everything pieced together. I would say, yeah, it's about a year.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what were some of the challenges that you went through as you were building your business or just even writing your book? What did you see that were some of the challenges that you faced?
I think the biggest challenges for me was funding. As I was mentioned earlier, like I've only starting to back to the world and back to work like this February. So, and then from 2018 when my daughter was born up until this year beginning, so I was staying at home mom. So we were all relying on my husband's single income. So to be able to pull out that funding together and to make this book was probably the biggest challenge. And then I'm so grateful that my husband was so supportive. And even though that means that we may, face all kinds of risks financially for a home, but he's still supportive because he know that this is like one of my dreams and it makes me happy. And he really supportive of that. Definitely chat funding. And it's interesting because now that I've already made it and did all that, and I realized, whoa, there was so many grants I could apply. There were so many people I could reach out that potentially, would invest in me or help me, or there's just so much help out there. But when I was creating it again, that I didn't think that it was possible. I didn't think that people would want to team up with me, help me make it happen. So that was solely on my own and my family. So I would say yes. So the biggest challenge will be the funding to make it happen, and also not to know that there are resources out there that could help. So
yeah, no, those are some of the challenges that a lot of business owners also face as they're starting to build their business. I know funding for their business is one of the biggest barriers that prevent them from not being able to start a business. So you're not alone, and there's so many other entrepreneurs that say the same thing, similar to you. And I'm also an entrepreneur myself, so I understand and I can relate to what you just said, is not knowing where the resources are, and also lack of capital funding.
Yeah, definitely. And which could also be like, it's also a big reason where I feel like I really want to dedicate a lot of my time and energy into nonprofit work, because part of my work with NUCA is to help people, like me. This is, of course, it is like one aspect of my job being a community worker, but that was definitely a part of it, is that I don't want people to go through with me, like what I went through. So
yes. Oh, that's so good to hear. I love how, our experiences help create something better for other individuals that are, wanting to build a better future or wanting to start something. So
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What is the your favorite thing about writing your children's book?
Oh God. I think I'm gonna choke when I say this, because I think that when I finished the book, I finally, like, first time I got a sample book. You design, you do a lot of work, and then finally you got a sample. Like, this is actually the finished. Like it's a real thing that out of your dream, your imaginary. And then I got it, and I remember, I'll never forget the day that I received it in the mail, and then I opened it up, and my kids was just like over the moon, my daughter especially. And I think that she was like 3 or 4 at the time, and then she was just super excited. Oh, mama, this is me, this is my book. You know, just that excitement for them to see or piece themselves and get that excitement. It's the most priceless thing I can imagine in the whole world. And I get so many, and since the book is available for sale on the market, and I've received so many heartfelt feedbacks that how much joy and excitement this book have bring to children and families. By far, that's the biggest reward. It's the biggest thing that makes me super happy and believe that I've done a good thing. And then not only that my dream came true, but also it brings so much joy and happiness to other families. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I know the reviews, the love that your customers tell you, and the excitement that your kids also show. I think that's what keeps entrepreneurs going, is being able to provide a service that nobody can be able to do, then do best than what we do. So
it's the happiness, really. It's the happiness within ourselves or family, and all the happiness that we can bring to everybody else in the world.
Oh, I love that. I know that you wear so many different hats. How are you able to manage all of those different roles?
Well, it's I don't think I'm doing a good job managing it. So, you know, but I think that I'm still learning. It's a live and learn experience, you know. So honestly, I only been trying to be like, you know, since both of my kids finally go to daycare and kindergarten this February. So from February to now, I have about 5 months that I had to, you know, live and learn. You know, there were many nights that I have so much to do. I have tons of email to reply, or I have so many meetings. Unfortunately, a lot of late night, no sleep, because I also don't want to miss spending time with my husband, with my children. And I think one thing is I have to keep myself grounded, is that setting priorities. You know, what are the things have to be done today, and what can happen tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. You know, so instead of like holding myself back, that urge of wanting to do everything at the same time, you know, and to be able to have calendars, have schedules. I think that's the thing that helps me the most along the way. And also that tell myself, okay, you can maybe sacrifice sleep like 1 time or 2 times, but it's not, you know, it's not a long term. Long term, it's still about just time management.
Yeah. Yes. What's your future plans for your business?
My future plans for my business is that I think there's like my vision and my mission of my business is, even though I don't have it officially out there on my website or anything, in my head is that through making creative products, whether for children or family, I wanted to just bring like, I'm so sorry. Hey, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. One moment. Hey, Teddy, stop. Yeah. I apologize.
No, don't apologize.
We just got this. He's a new dog. We've only had him for a few weeks. He gets very excited, even the car driving by. So, my vision for this is that I just want to really promote cultural diversity, you know, and that can be many meanings. Like my C is like, I want to bring that bit of rainbow, you know, bring extra color. You know, when I was like looking for unique books and unique aspects for my children, I was like, oh, I don't really see a lot of options. And then quickly I realized, how come why don't I become that option? Why don't I become, you know, that? And the same thing with you, E. Like I learned so much through you. I feel like you do so much. And then what you do is that you adding extra beauty and extra diversity and extra culture into our community. I think that my ultimate vision is similar, but you know, even though we're gonna be in completely different industry, so I'm more, I guess, more like more detailed plan is that I want to continue with my children's book making, because I think that you know, making a sing-along book with children nursery rhymes was just the beginning. You know, like my second book was about holidays. So that being helping children in our community and the world learn about there's other big holidays out there, you know, words about learning and discovering. And then, you know, And then I can also see myself like partner with someone like Yui, because your ancestor, like Hmong, there's so many cultures, so many beautiful things that we can preserve and pass on. So maybe you and I can work. We can make a book about Hmong culture, Hmong music. So yeah, that's my vision. So
yeah, no, I love the excitement that you bring when you talk about your future. You talk about your past and the present that you're currently doing right now. I think it's just all amazing work, and I just love the compassion and the commitment that you have, or we have, in our community, to make the world a better place and to continue to introduce our culture and allow our children to be able to preserve that a piece of our culture, and also educate the community about who we are as well too. So Lindsay, I think you're bringing such a great product to a lot of people, and you do make them smile. Like, I know the first time when I met you and you talked about that you were a children's author and you do music and you write, and I was like, I love that, because being a librarian, and at the time when I was looking for children's books to read for my kids, there was like very limited access and resources to quality children's books for our Hmong communities. So I love the work that you're doing, and look forward to more collaborations and partnerships with you in the future too. So.
Yes, absolutely. I think that I felt that instant connection with you as well. I feel like, we are kind of in a position where I firmly believe that like the first step of love is understanding, but how can we create understanding? We create it by giving more opportunities, creating more chances, such as adding more, elements of the different aspects of books or products or food, everything we can do to bring understanding for a community, to understand who we are. And then through there, we learn to love, we learn to, collab and mix. So it is, I feel like, I think overall it's definitely going in that direction. I'm just so happy that I'm part of that, that rock, building that bridge. I can be part of that piece, that connecting, that continuing building that bond between all communities and bridge. So, and then it's also important that I think that I want my children, and of course all children growing up, that we in the community, this is our home, this is our community, even though that we might have different roots, different ancestry, but this is our home now. And what can we do to create that environment that every children feel like this is my home, I belong and I fit in? So
yeah, definitely. So before we wrapped up our interview here, Lindsay, what are some advice you would like to give to our viewers who are thinking of starting a business, or who are already in the business world?
Oh yeah, oh my goodness. I think the biggest advice would be like to kind of like do research or making a lot of connections before you actually invest in a product or invest a business. Like just kind of understanding that your market and your sales channel and stuff like that, because I think that Amazon is amazing. As a customer, I love Amazon, but as a small business owner, oh my God, I wish Amazon could be kinder. Just show some mercy, because my book has been on Amazon. It's been a hit. People love it. But again, I'm a small business owner. There's only so much amount of funding I can contribute to the commercials. And then if I don't pay a lot of money with commercials, then people doesn't even find my book. They can't even they search, they can't even find it. So unfortunately, that's how the bigger systems works. And there's nothing I could do to change that unless I have tons of money and I pay Amazon so much to, promote my book every day. So that's why that I'm working really hard to, right now in a process of like promoting the book on my own in the local communities with bookstores, libraries, and children's museum, because I have so much faith that people love my book. It's just like, how can I connect to where that people can see them. So I think that would be my biggest advice, is that before you investing a lot of money on a product or on a business, You want to know that, you want to see like 10 steps ahead, you know, and kind of understanding the future, you know, how are you going to sell it? Who is your target? Will that be sustainable? Because I went into making this book and thinking that Amazon was like, you know, that's it, that's the place to be, you know. Yeah. But unfortunately, there's, you know, for small business owners, there's still a lot of challenges and difficulties, you know, being on that big platform like that. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, very great advice is from you is being able to, you know, do your research, understand who your market is before creating the product. And, you know, I think just also understanding the resources that we have in our community here too. Like what you said, every small business owner that we talk to, they're always like, well, I didn't know that there were grants. I didn't know that there were, you know, private loans that I can work with institutions to help me get capital funding. So really network, know your resources that are out there in the community. And I think those are all great advice. So
thank you. Yes. You know, live and learn, you know, that's what's the biggest thing that is always been the big challenge. And, you know, again, I'm not saying that don't go for big platforms. I'm just saying that you definitely want to, like what they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, before that, I didn't really think of any other options. I was like, oh, everybody shop on Amazon. That's the place to be, right? You know, I didn't even think about anything else. But then after being there for a year, I realized that, oh my gosh, I sold so many books, but I have no return, you know, but people love my books. But it didn't matter because the platform took so much of the share, you know. So that's something that I didn't anticipate. Yeah. So definitely that if I could do this, that's another reason why I haven't invested more funding to my second book, because I want to secure that there is many other channels that I can get my books to people's hands instead of just Amazon. Until there, you know, I'm going to hold off until, you know, having, you know, invest more money for my second book to be on the market. So.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Lindsay. Thank you for sharing your journey and your story with us. And, you know, best of luck to you on working on your second book. And thank you for all the great work that you do for our community to make it a better place to live, work, and thrive here. So thank you so much, Lindsay.
I can say the exactly same thing about you, Yi. Like, you are my role model. I look up to you for so many things. Thank you so much as well for having me today.
Yes, thank you, Lindsay. Have a great day.
You too. Bye. Thank you.